Now, you might be wondering, what does this have to do with GTA 6? Based on my knowledge and the new system requirements for GTA 5, I will outline the expected system requirements for GTA 6. While it may not be exactly the same, I will present a similar system. If you already have or plan to buy the system I suggest, you should be able to play GTA 6 comfortably. When we look at the details of the new update, as many of you know, GTA 5 currently has the same graphical structure across PlayStation 4, PlayStation 4 Pro, PC, and Xbox One versions. However, with the new update, the graphics of the PC version will be completely revamped because they were previously limited to PlayStation 4 level graphics. The PC version will receive a fresh look with this update, which will be released on March 4th, 2025, but it has already been made available for preloading. The PC version of GTA 5 will now be on par with next-generation gaming consoles like the Xbox Series and PlayStation 5. When we examine the details of the update, we see that features such as global illumination, ray-traced shadows, and ambient lighting options will be included in the PC version. Additionally, Dolby Atmos and TES technology will be integrated. One of the biggest complaints from users, slow game startup times, has also been addressed. To solve this issue, the company will support Microsoft's Direct Storage API, significantly reducing loading times. For the first time, full support for PlayStation 5's DualSense controllers will be available on the PC version, ensuring the same response time and feedback as on the console. Additionally, GTA 5 will receive FSR and DLSS support. On the performance front, one of the most beneficial features of the update is the inclusion of DLSS 3 for NVIDIA users, while AMD users will receive support for FSR 1 and FSR 3. This update will be completely free, with no additional charges. When we look at the system requirements for GTA 5's PC update, things get a bit complicated. The minimum system requirements now demand 8 GB of RAM. In terms of the GPU, the game is no longer lenient, requiring a graphics card with at least 4 GB of VRAM. The AMD version includes an RX 6400 with 4 GB of VRAM as well. However, these are just the minimum system requirements. Regarding the processor, since many people will want to play online, a capable CPU is necessary. The minimum requirement is an Intel i7-4770, which seems a bit excessive for a game that was released 10 years ago. However, given that this is a next-gen update with enhanced graphics, it makes sense. Now, when we examine the recommended system requirements, we can get an idea of what GTA 6 will demand. On the AMD side, an FX 9590 is required, showing how serious the game has become. Looking at GTA 5's initial system requirements, it previously required an NVIDIA GTX 660 with 2 GB of VRAM and an AMD HD 7870. This shows how old the original system requirements were. Now, the recommended specs include an RTX 3060 on the NVIDIA side and a 6600 XT on the AMD side. Additionally, 16 GB of RAM is now necessary. Regarding the CPU, the recommended specs require an Intel i5 9th Gen processor, not the 9600, but the 9600K. On the AMD side, a Ryzen 5 3600 is recommended. This is quite interesting because I purchased this processor about 3 years ago, meaning GTA 5's updated requirements match an average gaming system from 3 years ago. This also gives us some hints about GTA 6's system requirements. Now, let's speculate on GTA 6's system requirements. For the minimum specs, I expect at least an RTX 4060 or even a 4060 Ti. For recommended specs, I predict an RTX 4080. The minimum RAM requirement will likely be 16 GB, while the recommended will be 32 GB. Note that down. Alongside a 4060 Ti, the minimum CPU requirement will likely be an Intel i5 12th Gen processor. For the recommended specs, I expect an RTX 4080 and an Intel i7 14th Gen processor. However, if the game is released in 2026, we might even see 15th Gen Intel CPUs as part of the recommended specs. In terms of storage, I estimate the game will require around 250 gigabytes. Currently, GTA 5 takes up 105 gigabytes, so 250 gigabytes might actually be too little. Instead, I predict it could range between 300 gigabytes and 350 gigabytes. What do you think? What do you expect GTA 6's system requirements to be? Let me know in the comments. If you want to play GTA 6 smoothly without FPS drops, and at max settings, you'll need at least an RTX 4070 Super. For the CPU, you should aim for a 14th Gen Intel i5 with 32 gigabytes of RAM. Your SSD should be at least 2 terabytes because the game alone might take up 350 gigabytes to 400 gigabytes, and you'll also have Windows, other applications, and additional games installed. Another crucial aspect is cooling. Liquid cooling is highly recommended. If that's not possible, make sure to use high-quality tower coolers. You might want to start building your system now because GTA 6 is coming soon. As the release date approaches, many companies will launch system bundle campaigns, so keep an eye out for discounts. Some companies already have system deals available, so make sure to follow them. One strategy is to track special shopping days like Black Friday, Ramadan Bayram, Eid al-Adha, and summer sales. Especially during school holidays, gaming components receive major discounts. If you monitor these promotions, you can get the system I recommended at a more affordable price. My advice is to purchase a pre-built system if possible. That's all from me. If you have any additional thoughts, feel free to share them in the comments. See you in the next video. Take care.